We will go into regular session at 5:31. Public comment? I don't see anybody tonight. That's weird. And we will go to number 2, administrative reports, consent agenda, A, minutes, B, financials, and C, enrollment.
One thing I'd mention is you guys can see in the financial comparison from last March to this March, there's not a lot to compare to because the previous month of February, we got double paid by Furnish, so we didn't have any of the school funds to reflect them.
Thank you.
Yes.
Otherwise, pretty straightforward. I guess I have bought some more Chromebooks, which is a lot, but we had some die again and we just needed to, we kind of anticipated them dying, some more dying this year because we have like a lot of them that are a certain lot that's dying off, so we put that in the budget last year to kind of accommodate that.
What was the reason for this month's or March's bump in the SS funds? Just kind of the way it worked out?
Yeah, well, March's SS funds were up, February's was down. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, there was, January was in the 80 something, February 79.
It's just, I think we were hovering around the 80s for student enrollment. Now we're at 95. Kind of hit 95 in March, 97 at one point. We're at 95 right now. Not as many as we had last year around this time.
Yeah.
We hit 120, I think, this time last year. We haven't hit 100 yet, so.
Okay. Chairman will entertain, I will make a motion
Yes, sir.
to approve all of the administrative reports, including the minutes, financials, and the enrollment.
And I'll second.
Having a first and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We will go to number 3, old business.
All right, so the
Budget
budget.
update.
I didn't make any changes to the numbers. I did add the last year's budget column on the far right, so you guys can compare. That was a request that you guys had in the last meeting.
So the 2026 is
Yeah,
the current year.
correct. FY 26 is how we have our budget this year as of last year. So this one that we're looking at is FY 27. So the column to the right is last school year, or this current year's school budget, correct? And then there are still the 3 budgets, a 2% step with a 2% COLA, a 2% step with a 3% COLA, and a 2% step with a 4% COLA. We talked a little bit about that at the last meeting. And like I said, I didn't make any changes to the numbers. They're all the same. You can see it doesn't, because it's in black and white, you can't see. But our ending fund balance is one of the numbers you'll want to look at on this last page. You can see what our ending fund balance is kind of in the darker column to the left. And then last year's ending fund balance is to the right. So you can kind of see those comparisons. And then of course, as you're looking across the different proposed budgets, you can see the differences in that ending fund balance depending on what's approved. And for the most part this year, we talked about this last meeting, but I was able to reduce some of our like repairs and maintenance are reduced by 20,000 because we completed our remodel. I did a slight increase on the property insurance side because we did have an increase in our bond this year that we didn't account for, that I didn't know about. So I increased that to cover the bond. On the first page, the student incentive fund, I increased by 500 just to help with the life skills kind of program and purchasing that Nicole's been doing with a few students. And our curriculum has been down the last 2 years because Edmonton was significantly cheaper, which we weren't aware of that when we signed the contract, but we didn't realize that yeah, the $46,000, $42,000 was spread across 2 years. So this year, our curriculum for Edmonton will be the remaining $20,092.80, which leaves us roughly $6,200 left to cover other curriculum purchases.
And I know that I've asked this in the past, and I wish I could remember the answer, so why do we put the beginning fund balance at just 500,000 when we know that the ending fund balance is likely?
Yeah, so that's just our set price that we've always put is 500,000.
Even though looking at the financials, we could have
Yeah,
900,000.
correct, yeah, and the budget's an estimate, obviously. We've always been on the cautious side and budgeted as our beginning fund balance low. If you look back at the financial spreadsheet in blue, you can see for the year, the revenue and expenditure comparison. I update that beginning fund balance under the July. So starting this year, it said 500,000, and then when I get our audit back, I update it to what our beginning fund balance actually is. So that, I updated that a couple months ago. It says 812,705 is our actual beginning fund balance. We've always just had that beginning fund balance is 500,000. That's how it was explained to me.
Because we don't actually
We
know
don't
until the audit is done.
Which is usually not until, I think this year we audited in
Conservative.
November, December.
And I think that's worked pretty well throughout the years.
It's a conservative beginning fund balance until we know from the audit.
And one thing that I think, and Darcy and I have talked about this, we've always budgeted for 70 students. I think after this year, if we have a consistently high number, we should bump up that.
Probably.
So having 2 consistent years of a higher ADM, we should probably bump that up to like 80 would be what I would.
It's always just such a gamble and reading the community, well, the county really, because if other schools were to open an online school, that could just take, like if Bethel was to open one, that would take.
But as of now, we're hearing that everybody else is closing.
Cutting, so yeah, so
Right.
the odds are pretty good, our numbers are gonna stay up.
Okay, well, thank you for that again. So it's just a matter of you plug in the updated number once the audit.
Correct, yeah.
And I apologize if this question's been asked already, but what did we do last year as far as step and COLA increase?
So we have never done a step before.
Okay.
And that is something that teachers brought to us because that is what almost all teachers unions do. We are not union, but we also found that we were getting this bigger and bigger gap between other schools and us because we were getting a COLA but not a step. So what was it
5% overall.
last year without that step?
So what we're proposing is to every year do a 2% step, and then we'll adjust a COLA. We'll offer a COLA in 3 different budget options for that additional percent,
But that way they're guaranteed that 2% step.
which is what our staff is.
They may or may not get a COLA depending on the state of the economy.
But yeah, last year overall it was a 5% increase.
Okay, thank you for that.
And we don't have to vote on this today. I think we usually vote on it in May. This was just another review of our budget.
Well, yeah, thank you for including the comparison to
Yeah.
last year. That's
I'll just do that every year. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have that.
well, then you can at least say, oh, why is this number skewed? Why is it so much
Mhm.
higher or lower as opposed to
Yeah.
digging back through last year's budget.
Yeah.
And we kind of, like that we had some general consensus around maybe, of course, of moving forward with the step. It seems to be, or at least setting up the compensation schedule so that there's that step built in all the time. Is that leaning toward the 3% or imagining that was our conversation last time?
I say, do we know what the district's getting in their contract? as far as for their steps.
We look
Well, the COLA is,
forward.
I think last year was 4, this year it's 3.5, and then it goes down to 3. But then their insurance, what they contribute goes up, so it's like opposite.
But as far as because what, are they on a 7-step,
They're on a
12,
14 step.
14-step
I
program?
believe so.
So that we know their percent, like, just take a medium.
I'm trying to
Year 7
remember.
to 8.
You did it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, I've looked at so many different school step
And
programs.
she did
Um,
figure it.
It's more than what we do,
Right,
for sure. I think it's like a 3.25 or
Okay.
something crazy.
In between each of the steps.
Yeah,
for the school district, okay.
which, we're not looking to try to compete, they get more funding than we do. But I also looked at Mapleton, and they start their step out a lot higher, and their steps are a lot bigger, but then they cap it at 5 years. So that was kind of interesting to me
5
too,
years, yeah.
yeah.
I know
So-
for them, and this could eventually play for us too, for Mapleton, they start them higher because they really want to find somebody. It's hard to find people, so.
Gotta build and recruit them there.
Yeah. And that could, we're pretty static here, which is fabulous, but if we were to lose a teacher, that might be hard to fill, and that might be something in the future to look at, but it hasn't been an issue yet.
You want to toss them out faster over there too.
Yeah.
I mean, if
It
you're here, you're looking at like you said, a 14-year step
Growing,
till you're
yeah.
topped out.
Yeah.
I mean, you're almost halfway through your career before you're topped out.
Yeah.
And they probably, I wonder if they have longevity in their program, in their contracts.
Yeah, a lot of times the
Believe they do.
longevity is just a
Play
set
until, like,
stipend.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
just a
really?
set stipend is what, I think Marcola does is a set
I
stipend.
think it is.
So I've
So,
seen some that are like 0.5,
yeah,
1.5.
most of the
like
school,
10 years.
yeah, stipends I
15 to
looked at
20.
was just like a base, like $1,000 or
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
I've looked at so many, I'm sorry, I can't remember
No, I
specific
appreciate
schools,
that.
but
I'm just saying, there's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah.
There is.
You know, because
There's
I see
so
a lot
many.
of contracts that are like a 10-year, you're looking at a 3% longevity, and every 5 years thereafter is 2.5.
Mhm.
So you hit your 10-year mark, you're at 3 year, 15, you add another 2.5 to that, and then at 20, another 2.5. So
But they're also getting, if there's a COLA,
then they're getting their
Yes,
COLA.
they're getting
Yes.
their COLA.
Yeah, so
Yes.
they,
not getting.
no, it's just another way
Right,
to reward your,
sticking it out, yeah.
Yeah.
But they are still getting that COLA.
yeah, and that COLA still goes. Absolutely.
so we're not asking anything of our employees about health insurance, it's just staying.
We have a pretty generous contribution, and for staff that don't opt for insurance, they get a pretty generous amount. But that is something, especially looking at next year, we'll look at what insurance rates do, and then we might budget for that the following year, saying, we're not gonna do, we're gonna do a lower COLA, but we're gonna give you an additional X. This year, insurance for people that opted for full insurance, including vision and dental, it went up $62. So it wasn't a huge.
For an annual?
For an
Oh,
annual,
wow.
yeah, so it wasn't a
That's not bad at all.
huge thing. Unfortunately, we get our new rates in September, so well after we budget, but
It's always backwards.
it's
Right.
backwards.
All backwards.
But we'll see what
Yeah.
insurance does in the fall, and then if it takes a big hike, then that's something that we'll look at for the following year's budget, is increasing the budget, getting less of a COLA. Or increasing the insurance, getting less of a COLA.
How much of an increase did we see this last September?
$62 was the,
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, for the whole year.
I think it's $62.71,
Okay.
so.
That wasn't monthly, that was annual.
That was per employee,
Per
out of pocket month, per month.
Okay.
Thank you for those three.
So in May, you'll want us to vote on.
Yeah, because we need to get contracts to staff before they
Would
leave.
it help if we did it tonight?
Can we do it tonight? Would that be helpful for you?
I'm not planning on changing the budget at all unless, I mean, I don't foresee any reason for it to need to be changed, so if you guys wanna vote on it tonight, you're welcome to.
I'll leave that open to.
Or where's the board feels that with the 2% step being initiated and a 3% COLA, like it's a 5% increase?
Yeah. Sure. That's fine.
Do you think staff is gonna say, the board had an opportunity to go to 6% total, they'll be upset or? Not that you don't-
I know that they're going to be grateful for the step, because that is something they wanted.
Mhm.
I mean, of course, everybody always wants more money, but I know that they appreciate this step being put.
I think all the CPI numbers for the last couple of months going forward, slightly below the 3%.
Mhm.
It's a COLA, it should be kind of matching to the CPI.
I agree with that.
All things being equal.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's all equal these days. but-
Nothing is equal.
But I think you're right, it's all about just coming under 3% if it stays.
Yeah. See how long these gas prices.
Nothing will keep up with those.
Yeah.
375 in Texas.
Mhm.
Texas was really nice, yeah.
Well, I would make a motion to go ahead and adopt the upcoming fiscal year's budget at the 2% step and a 3% COLA.
A motion for the 2% step and 3% COLA. Is there a second out there?
Stacy.
Stacy with us already.
Is that okay, you think?
Coming in hot.
Because we don't have any guarantee that we'll have a full board next year.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, it'd be nice to have.
Yeah.
We got this.
All right, so motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, just checking. No nays, 4-0. Thank you for that. And we have our
New business.
new business, open board position, application.
We had one application by Jacqueline Turtle.
Who was ready to come and campaign tonight.
Takes days.
Is unopposed, so I told her she probably.
She might make it. Yeah, going over it.
I make a motion?
You can do that.
Make a motion to approve Jackie Turtle's application for a board position.
I'll second.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I might just propose to put her president.
We already had
No.
a president this year. I'm sorry, I have to wait till next year.
Do we- So where's she gonna go? Vice president? Or is she?
Rick's vice president.
What do we have open for her?
Board member.
We gotta get her something. I tried. And then we'll go with B, the most important thing on the agenda tonight. Director evaluation. Like playing cards. And honestly, this should not come as any surprise to you. Hopefully it does not. Hopefully, we have been clear with our communication throughout the last year. And I just gotta say, I don't say it very often, but you're pretty amazing. The way you run the school, the way you interact with your students and your staff and the board. I mean, from where the school's been to where you're taking it
We're trying.
is amazing. Your fiscal responsibility, we're not in a position like a lot of districts are right now where they're like, oh, we don't have this $50 million? Or we
I'm
don't
very
have this,
grateful we're not making cuts
I mean,
right now.
yeah,
We're
it's,
having the conversation we're having.
yeah, and it goes back to being great stewards of taxpayers' money and using them the very best we can. And then just your leadership with your staff and keeping your staff here and keeping cohesive. It's just been awesome. It's just, yeah.
And I'd have to fully support all that. The most amazing thing is, not that I was here during the beginning of the charter school, but I mean, this is the first time we've had for consecutive years, a positive relationship with the Frederick School District, or at
Yes.
least with Gary.
It feels like it
Yes.
is
Well,
continuing to grow too.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
have
so
a
that's-
very, in my opinion, good relationship.
Which has never been the case in the past.
No, no.
And maybe the schools had a good relationship, but the directors never, superintendent never had a good relationship.
Yeah, so, yeah.
So that's huge.
I like having that positivity.
Yes.
It feels best for kids
Well,
all across the
I
board.
mean, in the past, even if we knew it was better for the charter school, it's like, there's no way we'd ever get it past Gary.
Right.
You have a relationship to go and talk with him and give him good rationale, and he's open to listening. Whereas before, it was just,
No, no, no.
And I very much respect his input.
yeah. Oh, well. He's a
Yeah.
good, seasoned, smart superintendent.
Very much.
Yeah, it's just, the school's lucky to have you. I mean, they really are. They
I feel lucky to be here. So.
really, really are.
And we have to be thankful for Stacy. This should go out to all
Yes.
charter schools as the prime example
It
for
should.
writing up an
Put
incredible
this across the state.
evaluation.
Three revisions, 2 weeks.
Those HR skills are coming in handy. It's nice. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Very, very good.
So, other than more feedback, do we have to vote on
We
this?
don't need to vote.
I don't think so.
We extended you for 3 years, I guess.
Last month, so.
Should've been here.
I was.
Kind of was.
I was. I was
We had
here.
him muted so he couldn't talk, but he was here.
I was watching my grandson pitch. I apologize. And I forgot. I'm not gonna lie. So with that, great news.
Yes, no, that's great.
Board director, roll.
Yeah, with that, now you get to set goals for me.
That's right.
So I talked about this last month, but these goals are very much directed towards the school goals, and to be very honest, the goals the state sets for us that we have no say-so in whatsoever. So might as well work towards those goals. I don't really see a reason to come up with new or different ones. They're good goals. I mean, they're things that we need to be working on. So one of the things these sort of updated or fine-tuned in the past is just a better way to present the data to the board multiple times a year. And so that the outcomes, twice annually, I will be presenting those to you, the data on these goals, which I like, that hasn't specifically been written in them before. And they're on a 3-year cycle, which is sort of what Kristen Miles suggested to us when she came and did that training, is to not do them every single year, but put them on a cycle because it takes time.
Well, I just, my comment is that when things are going really well, I don't see the reason to be trying to change things. And you always want a board and an organization to try to be aspirational about things, but with the guardrails that the state has on charter schools and schools in general, it's like, it's, I think what you laid out is sensible.
And to be, I mean, blunt and honest, our success rates, our graduation rates for us are great, but overall, they're not great. And so, yeah, we want to see improvements in those areas, and course completion and attendance and those things. So we definitely have a lot of room to grow.
Also, have some big headroom as well when it comes to.
We serve it different.
We do. And I know
Population.
staff
We
appreciates
do.
that you realize that, because we had a
We do.
long, hard conversation today about attendance rates and the fact that they're lower this year than they were last year consistently, and why that is, and what we're doing differently. And staff feels like we're doing more, not less, but they're just lower. And so it's a sometimes feels like you're fighting a losing battle, but they aren't giving up. So they appreciate the fact that people recognize that the population we're serving is a different one than most. I will say, looking at our attendance rates for this year, our average is 60%. Elmira High Schools is 68.
It's not too shabby.
Not really.
I mean,
It's atrocious overall, but looking at the kids we serve, really that's not horrible.
8% behind a traditional school.
I would like us to be more like 80%, but
That's not the population that we're dealing with.
it's not.
You know, I love that goal, but we're never gonna be there.
No, and
That's just not who.
as a staff as a whole, everyone feels, the state focuses on attendance, but really our goal more is course completion. If they're completing their courses in 2 days a week because they're working long days, we're okay with that versus you were here 5 days in a row doing nothing. So we are measuring success a lot more in course completion than attendance.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So we need a motion to approve the 2029 board strategic goals. I would so move.
We have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And it passes 4-0. Move on to the 26-27 board meeting calendar.
So this is just very similar to what I handed out last year, just it's the third Wednesday of each month, so all those dates were updated. There's no board action needed, it's more, if there's something you wanna change about the day of the month we meet, or we can say, yeah, this is good, and we can use it for next year. Just wanna make sure we have plenty of time. The school year calendar also is included, and we don't vote on this either, but this is, I think we talked about this at the last meeting, where all the other schools are starting the day after Labor Day, which actually pushes our school year out to the third week of June,
It's a week
a
later.
week later, yeah. We wanted to go with the last week of August, but being that Willamette High School and Elmira High School are adopting this schedule, we should adopt the same.
Elmira will, or Bernard will adopt it on Monday, but
Well, we
Like that.
even heard from parents, it just as a whole, it's like,
Yeah.
why take kids prior to Labor Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
and we really, it would be silly for us to not do what the other schools do.
Right.
and then was it our spring break fall, the school spring break fall on our board meeting in March?
No, it would be the 17th of March,
So that's
which
the
is
week
the week.
before.
Okay, so we're good there.
Okay.
Same with
Yeah.
winter break.
And we can always adjust like we do sometimes.
Yeah, and again, there's no board action needed. I more or less just wanted to say this is what we're looking at next year. If anybody have any comments, I can make changes. Otherwise, let's run with this for now. And
I like it. It's a good roadmap.
that way in June, when we have our meeting before summer break, we all know what day we're coming back on. So,
We only know that if you were like.
Yeah, send us emails.
I know, and I will, but-
Send us emails. And some of us send multiple emails and texts.
I can't access my Wesleyan email, and when I email and include my Wesleyan email, it comes back as I'm not valid, so.
Oh, we need to look at that.
That's weird.
It's, the Google, when you have other existing Google accounts, to try to toggle over to the Wesleyan one's always clunky, but
I do
Eventually,
try
I
to
get
send
there.
it to, everybody gets an email to the personal and to their Wesleyan.
I appreciate
Is how I do it, just,
So we'll check, because there
Send me
might be
text.
some.
yeah.
Yeah. If we
Say
didn't
anybody
hear
gets a
back from
text.
you, you would get a text.
Just say some people get texts.
There's a reason some people.
I actually put everybody's number in my phone yesterday because of you. I had to ask Darcy for phone numbers again because I couldn't find the contact list she gave me. And
Where's
so
he at?
everybody's
Text
in-
you.
Where's he?
I need to text you,
Is he in
Hartley.
town?
Where is that
He
guy?
responds to those texts.
I try. I try. So that was the board meeting, school calendar. Let's go to number 5, director's report.
So we had kids go on a field trip, I think it was just last week, to Eugene Sand and Gravel. It was highly entertaining to hear them when they came back. They got to do some heavy equipment simulators where they drove the trucks, and one kid was the best in his group in this one truck, and then in the other one, there was something wrong with the tires on this truck. He drove down the sidewalk and took out several signs, and it was not him, it was the tires on that truck were not good, so I'm glad
that
it was
in
just a
Albany?
simulator. No, here in Eugene.
Okay, because they have that,
Been like
Morris
Delta.
has that huge one.
So they loved it. The kids that went absolutely loved it. So it was fun. I wish we could talk more kids into it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's the students coming back and talking.
Talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other students hopefully.
They had fun. And then teachers have been reviewing interim assessments, the new Senate Bill 141 Accountability Act. There is 5 criteria that schools have to meet, and then there's 1 additional metric that you can choose. Interim assessments is one of the options in those additional metrics. We finally decided not to do it. We do an interim assessment already that aligns with our curriculum. And we felt like by looking at all of these others, it was more jumping through a hoop and not benefiting kids. What we currently give them really aligns, it's beneficial, it gives teachers a lot of information, and these did not. So we are going to choose a different metric that aligns with CTE and CTE participation in courses. So this one was kind of the one that we felt like maybe they were pushing us towards, but a lot of hours went into it, and teachers felt like that's just not what's best for kids, and that's what we're here for, so we're not gonna use it. Started working graduation, we got kids finishing up, or kids on track to finish up, so we've been giving them all the information, ordering caps and gowns and all of that. And graduation will be at Deep Woods this year on June 4th, which is a Thursday. It's always been on Tuesday in the past. We made the decision to go with Thursday because it was always really hard to come back to work on Wednesday after graduation. It felt like it should be a weekend.
There you go.
It's on Thursday.
And we had a couple kids last year that came to our practice run through, not realizing that graduation was that night. We thought it was on Thursday.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Crazy question with that. GED kids.
They walk.
Can they walk?
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely can. So they are treated, and no one knows the difference. They get the diploma that says GED certificate. So you wouldn't know the difference. They all get the same, which is awesome. And then one thing I didn't have on here, and I think Jeremy.
Can I, before you leave that?
Yeah.
So Deep Woods is kind of out there a ways. Are you concerned about with parents and?
It's much closer for all of our parents. People are happy. We're hearing the feedback there. They love it. They all know where it is because it's right here on territorial.
Yep.
Seats 200 people, so it should be plenty big enough, and it's all set up, and it is 100% free. They are donating.
super.
Perfect.
No cost.
Perfect.
They are donating it, so
I have to go out and play golf beforehand just to pay them back a little bit, right?
And we actually, one of our graduates this year's mom works out there, and so she wants to give us all the extra bells and whistles too. So
Very cool.
that's fun.
Do you work with a bakery to take out goodies or?
We've always just done cookies in the past. Last year, we didn't do anything because the venue wouldn't allow it.
Right.
But this year, this particular mom wants to do cookies and all this special lemonade, and
Nice.
so we said, sure, if you want to.
She loves to bake. And I think her son does too.
I think
doesn't he?
so.
Cool.
Yeah.
So they were excited.
Very excited. It's pretty fun.
You should do some sort of recognition to them.
Yes, definitely. A big thank you.
Yeah.
It's fun because there are 3 kids in this group that started with us as freshmen. And all 3 of them went all the way through and finished halfway through their senior year. They finished half a year early. And they were the first group that were allowed to come as freshmen first
Right.
semester. So it's pretty fun because we don't normally get kids all 4 years.
Full circle.
When is cap and gowns have to be in?
We've got a couple weeks still.
Okay.
Are there any students who cannot afford to have a gown?
There may be, we have gowns they can borrow. We have also offered to purchase if they want. So
We have room in our student incentive fund
Yeah.
to purchase those things. that
we,
we need.
we make sure that they
Thank you.
absolutely will not be without. And we have one girl who didn't want to buy it, she just wants to borrow it.
Cool.
Perfect. We got
I
extras.
get it.
Yeah, I mean, what do you need it for, really?
Afterwards.
Afterwards, I just want to buy a cap. You just buy the cabinet.
Great.
I'm excited. It's
It's the good stuff.
And then the one thing I did put on here, just an FYI, is I recently became a member of the Oregon Threat Assessment Professionals team. And so I am working with the ESD and we're setting up a behavior threat assessment level 2 process for all of the Lane County schools. And so it's a pretty interesting process. And I think it's
Like threat assessment to shooters coming into the school.
for any threat made. So there's a process that came out of Salem Kaiser School District that this man developed many years ago. And so schools across the country, actually businesses use it all over. And there's a level 1 that you do kind of in your building, but if it goes to a level 2, then that's what we're working on with the ESD for what that next level will look like and try to standardize it for schools to help. And I kind of thought when I came here that wouldn't be something that we do, and it is so different in a virtual setting. So I did it a lot in brick and mortar schools. It's very different in a virtual setting, but apparently those threats still happen. So, but I enjoy it. It's fun. It's interesting, and so that's something we're kind of contributing back to the area.
Cool. Very nice.
The last thing on here is Distinguished Service Awards on April 16th, 7 o'clock. It's tomorrow.
We've got 5 kids and 1 teacher receiving awards. All kids have RSVP'd that they will be attending. So that will be fun.
Where's it at?
At the service center. We may or may not have put in a request to change the order. Because we're at the end of the alphabet.
Well, we should have done Howard, because the last.
Well, he's gotten in the past.
Businesses
Oh, has he?
and-
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't think he did.
That's
It's
like
like
their whole
Why
6
now?
hours.
Like,
Yeah.
you find, but yeah, so.
We try to get down.
Tracy, Bryson.
Yeah, and I did all the bios in 100 words. So Pat can't, and I said, you cannot ad lib, because he tends to do that.
Pat called me today.
I would
To
say
get
that
the-
you had it twice
No,
before.
he called
No,
because
he's
he
one.
wanted to make sure that his Google of what CTE stood for was correct.
Oh, well, it's on that, because I stapled everybody's paper
Yeah,
to
well,
the
thanks for sharing.
Well, we
bio.
didn't spell out CTE, so he wanted to say what it was. And, because it's so long, the title of the
Yeah.
award was so long that it says CTE and then, culinary or whatever. And so he called today and was like, I have a question.
And then Ken,
I want to make sure this is right, because I'm making notes to make sure I don't sound like an
Right.
idiot or something.
Right.
I just
And
told him
who's
you
this?
cannot ad lib.
Oh, Pat.
He cannot not.
He cannot, I said, Pat, it's 100 words, that's it. Do not
And
add.
Mr. Randall was voted by staff today for our staff member of the year. Or not today, but was voted. And it was by a significant majority. Yeah.
Yeah, and you got pictures from Cat for Cat, right?
Andrea was
She's working on that. We didn't have pictures, so we're kind of doing cartoon pictures.
Yeah, that's what she's doing. And she could not get anybody from the school district to call her back for pictures, so she's making those pictures for perfect.
I like it. I'll take the final motion.
To adjourn.
All in favor, aye, aye, aye.
Who was the first on that, Rick?
Yes.